Welcome to Pine Harbor. I'm Jamie McGrath, and today we'll walk step by step through your Quivett shed kit. From site prep to final trim, let's get started. You'll want to begin by positioning the pack as close to your building site as possible. Before you start, open the pack and verify every part against the stock list and the illustrations in your packet. If anything is missing, pause and contact customer support. Clear the area of all debris and make sure you have the tools and safety gear ready. This quick check saves time and keeps the build smooth. The two box joists will come pre-marked 16 inches on center. Lay out all joists in their correct positions before nailing. This makes alignment easy. Ensure the box corners are flush and hold the joist flush to the top of the box plates. Attach each joist with 3 or 4 16D nails per connection following the nail pattern. The next step is to level and square the floor. This is one of the most important steps. Taking your time and getting it right will ensure the rest of the assembly goes smooth. Begin by leveling the floor frame on all 4 sides. Use different height blocks if needed. A sturdy base is essential. We recommend concrete blocks at each corner and the centers for any shed 10 feet or greater. Place concrete blocks flush to the frame edge. Once level, check that the frame is square by measuring corner to corner. A to D should equal B to C. Consult the plywood flooring layout addendum for your particular size. Making sure the front box plate is straight, start with a full 4x8 sheet in the front corner. Flush to all sides. Nail the plywood to the joist with 8D ring shank nails using the shown nailing pattern. Nail the corners first, then locate the joist every 16 inches with a tape measure. If needed, push any bowed joist back into the 16-inch center marks and then finish nailing. Continue per the layout diagram until the floor is complete. Next, we will begin with wall assembly. As you unpack the shed kit, keep in mind that many pieces are packed inside the walls. Keep them organized together as you unpack. We recommend having at least 2 people to raise the walls. Walls are raised front wall first. Position the wall frames flush to the outside edges of the floor. Use a speed square to confirm. Hold the panel tight and attach it to the floor with 3-inch or longer screws, 1 at each corner and every 3 feet and beside each door opening. Repeat for the remaining walls. Screw wall-to-wall connections at the top, center, and bottom using the 3-inch screws. Keep the panels flush as you secure each joint. Nail the wall boarding into the frame where possible with 8D ring shank nails. Confirm the frame-to-frame measurement equals the building size. If not, check your connections and square the frame before proceeding. Place the top plate on the wall with the angled rip facing outward. It will protrude past the front wall. Use a speed square to ensure it's flush to the inside of the wall frame. Secure one end, then fasten with screws or nails every 30 inches. If your shed is 14 feet long or more with a centered door, the 2-piece wall will come with a header. Install this first before moving to the gable tops. At least 2 people will be needed to raise the gable tops. The bottom plate of the gable fits under the top plate rip. Align flush and attach from above with 3-inch screws every 30 inches. Screw through the rip into the rafter tail on both sides. Whenever possible, assemble the rafters flat on the shed floor. Match rafter points flush and connect each pair with 1 3-inch screw or nail per side. Align the gussets so the angled ends sit flush with the rafter edge and attach each gusset with 4 8D ring shank nails. Repeat until all rafters are assembled. Rafters sit tight against the angled top plate lip. The top plates are pre-marked at 24 inches on center. Align the rafters to these marks and attach with a 3-inch screw. Secure the angled rip to the rafter and fasten to the top plate from the outside. Install collar ties inside the angled top plate. Nail them to the rafters with 8D ring shank nails. If your shed does not include a loft, evenly space the collar ties. If your kit includes a loft, the collar ties follow a specific layout. See the instructions for the exact layout. Position loft boards from the center out and nail to the collar ties using 8D nails. Check the plywood roofing layout addendum for your particular size. Mark the sheets every 24 inches to align the rafters and serve as a nail guide. You may want 2 people to lift the first sheet into the bottom corner. Rest it against the angled top plate rip and flush to the outside edge. Nail with 8D ring shack nails at each rafter center, 5 nails per rafter per sheet. You can fasten a temporary 2x4 cleat to use as footing when installing the second row. Just remember to remove the cleat when complete. For walls with siding, we recommend adding tar paper using staples around door frames, windows, and all shed corners whenever possible. We will pre-install the tar paper where needed. When installing the paper around windows, install the bottom strip first so that the side strips overlap. Windows come trimmed out. Lift and center the window level starting at the bottom, tack one corner with a finish nail, then nail every 18 inches. If on a gable wall, run a bead of clear silicone across the top casing for water protection. Level and center from the inside, then nail through the casing with 2.5-inch stainless finish nails. If your shed includes a transom window, measure and mark the center of the window opening, then measure the center and mark on the bottom of the transom window sill. Align the mark on the sill with your mark on the opening to ensure the window is centered. Ensure the window is level and positioned as high as possible within the opening. Then nail along the top and side casing every 18 inches. If the transom window is installed above a double door, cut the 1x4 PVC and the beveled cap to the length of the transom. Fasten together and install tight to the transom sill using finish nails. A 1/2-inch gap should exist below the beveled cap in the door opening to allow the double doors to close against it. Cut out the 2x4 on the floor of the door opening flush with the framing. Measure and cut the door side casing if needed. Install the hinge side casing flush with the wall. Installing a small temporary cleat below the door will give you something to rest the door against when installing. Attach the door with provided hinge screws. Once doors are level, screw the hinges into the casing and remove the temporary cleat. Finally, measure the door opening from the bottom. Cut the pine strip to length if needed and install it below the door. Install the door pins. Start by installing the pins on the top and bottom of the door, then mark the pin placement at the top and bottom. Using a 7/16 drill bit, drill the hole for the pins. Next, install the double door astragal on the locking side. Ensure the astragal has at least 1-inch overlap with the pin side door. Use a level to ensure plumb and fasten the astragal. To install the handle, place the handle at least 3 inches above the center 2x4 on the interior of the door and mark it. Use a 1/2-inch drill bit to cut the hole for the handle. The back of the handle is installed using a 1/8 Allen wrench. For single doors, if the wall is less than 14 feet, cut out the 2x4 on the floor of the door opening. Install a temporary cleat at the bottom, flush with the bottom plate, just below the plywood sheathing, to allow you to rest the door when installing. Attach hinge side door casing to the building using finish nails. Make sure the door casing is flush to the door frame. Place the door in the opening, ensure it is level, and attach the door to the casing using the provided hinge screws. The door should catch the floor and door header by roughly 3/4 of an inch top and bottom. Install the opposite side of the door casing using finish nails. Make sure to leave a 1/2-inch consistent gap between the door casing and the door. Install the door head casing with 1/2-inch gap between the casing and the door. The door head casing fits between the vertical door trim. Remove the temporary cleat used to hold up the door, measure the bottom of the door opening, and cut the pine strip if needed. Nail below the door using 8D ring shank nails, leaving a 1/2-inch gap between the bottom of the door and the pine strip. Measure the door thickness and install the 3/4 inch by 7/8 door stop inside the marked line. Install the back plate above the center cleat using the finish nails. Mark and drill the T-handle hole with a 1/2-inch drill bit and insert the T-handle. To attach the back plate, loosen the set screw, slide the back plate onto the shaft, and make sure the back plate catches the door stop and the door closes tightly. Refasten the set screw. To install a louvered vent, place it inside the pre-cut opening. Place the top trim piece over the vent and ensure it's centered and leveled, and then fasten with finish nails. Side pieces and bottom pieces are installed plumb to the vent and fastened with finish nails as well. If your shed includes a ramp, attach the pre-cut cleat 1.5 inches from the bottom of the door and rest the ramp on the cleat. Ensure the ramp is tight against the bottom plate and screw it in to secure. For transom windows over double doors, pre-cut pine end caps are included. Begin by installing these flush to the outside and bottom of the gable using 1¼ finish staples. PVC earboards are installed flush to the outside edge of the angled 2x4 rip on each gable end. Once all gable tops have been installed or earboards have been attached and leveled, install pre-cut and assembled corner boards with finish nails every 18 inches. For board and batten walls, we can move to trim. For clapboard siding, mark the layout every 4.5 inches, cut it to fit, and staple at the bottom of the course every 18 inches. For cedar shingles, lay out every 5 inches, double layer on the bottom course, do not overlap seams more than 1 inch, and fasten with 1-inch galvanized staples. For Everlast siding, cut to fit between corner boards and casings and nail into the provided flange. Once your siding is complete, we move to the rake boards. Rake boards are pre-cut and installed on a plane with the roof and flush with the top of the roof plywood. Use a speed square or straight edge to ensure that rake boards are flush with the roof plywood. Rakes are designed to go over the top of the siding and earboards. Ensure the rakes meet at the peak to make a tight seam and attach using finish nails. The fascia board fits between the backside of the rake boards. Secure it with finish nails every 18 inches. For the frieze, begin by measuring the length of the building between the earboards and cut the frieze piece to length. The frieze goes over the corner boards, butting into the back side of the earboards. Attach the frieze using finish nails a maximum of every 18 inches. Install the aluminum drip edge with roof staples flush to the plywood and straight against the fascia. Follow ICO guidelines for final shingle installation and finish roofing per manufacturer instructions. We recommend finish painting your doors within 30 days to help prevent any issues such as shrinking, swelling, or cracking. We hope you enjoy your classic series Quivett Cape Shed. For questions, call 1-800-368-SHED or email info@pineharbor.com. Thanks for building with Pine Harbor, and be sure to contact us anytime if you need help. Happy building.